more now on the growing fears that a Russian invasion of Ukraine could happen as soon as this week. It comes as Australia joins around a dozen countries in evacuating their embassies. Let's bring in Treasurer Josh Frydenberg in Canberra. Treasurer, good morning to you. Nice to be with you this morning. Have you managed to evacuate all embassy
Karl.
staff yet?
I understand that we have been able to take staff out, and that's obviously been a precautionary measure given the escalating tensions there in Ukraine. We're at a very dangerous juncture here, Karl. You don't amass more than 100,000 troops on a border to check out the view or to have a picnic. Something is definitely brewing, and it's not a good thing, and it's going to have major implications in the region, and of course it's a situation we're monitoring very, very closely with our allies.
The US has been saying that same thing all weekend and for a couple of weeks now. It's made it clear that their response will be swift and severe. But on the other side of that, the Ukrainian president has said, look, let's not panic here. There doesn't seem to be any kind of panic inside Ukraine. So is the US beating this story up?
Absolutely not. Obviously, they are privy to intelligence. They're obviously monitoring troop movements as well, and looking at the military implications of the Russians moving in. But it's a very, very dangerous situation, and the reverberations will be felt far and wide if, in fact, the Russians do invade.
How will Australia respond if they do?
Well, again, I don't want to preempt what we may or may not do, but we are certainly working with our allies and friends, and particularly the United States, and talking about these major geostrategic challenges is one of the reasons why we hosted a Quad meeting of foreign ministers from Japan and India, the United States, here in Australia, held by Maurice Payne. I mean, we're trying to get the big things right, and the big things are our economic security and getting people into a job and protecting our national security, and that's why we've struck this deal with the United States and the United Kingdom on the AUKUS arrangement, which will get us in to the best technology, not just the submarines, but artificial intelligence, cyber warfare capabilities, advanced weapon systems, and that's why we hosted this meeting of the Quad just days ago.
The subs are 20 years away though, aren't they?
Well, again, there is work underway now already on technological transfers to ensure that whether it's our Navy, whether it's our Air Force, whether our Army, having the best possible equipment available to them.
Okay, New South Wales by-elections at the weekend. Dominic Perrottet's did not go his way. Not easy for incumbents at any kind of election at the moment, is it? Must make you pretty nervous.
Well, I think, Karl, that's exactly right. It's not easy for incumbents, and there is no such thing as a safe seat nowadays, particularly when you've got the uncertainty of a pandemic and you've got some big names that are retiring, leaving the state political scene, whether it's Gladys Berejiklian as Premier, whether it's Barilaro as Deputy, or whether it's Andrew Constance, former Transport Minister. We were encouraged by what we saw in Strathfield with a small swing to the coalition, but of course disappointed to lose Bega, and that was the first time since 88.
You're picking the cherry off a lot of things that weren't cherries. I mean, it was awful for you. The weekend was awful.
Look, it's a challenging time, but if you look at Andrew Constance, obviously I think he had a strong personal vote there in Bega, and he's running for us in Gilmore in the South Coast, and he's been a fantastic member. So we're very hopeful at the federal election of picking up that seat. But again, as you said at the outset, by-elections are historically pretty challenging for incumbents. We know we've got a job to do, and it was great to see you and the Prime Minister and Jenny and the young girls on the TV last night, because that's showing the Australian people a human side, the family home of our Prime Minister, and I think that's a positive thing too.
Okay, quickly, the AFR front page today has business and former political leaders saying the tax system is broken and slugging workers too much. Will you commit to a proper review after the election?
Well, again, we've been getting on with the job of cutting taxes and improving our tax system. Just last week, Karl, I introduced legislation to the Parliament to establish what's called a patent box to encourage innovation in Australia's biotech and medical sector, where those companies that do the research and development here in Australia, get a patent, generate income, will pay a concessional company rate, tax rate of just 17 cents in the dollar. As you know, we've cut small business taxes to the lowest level in 50 years. years, and we've legislated very significant reform to our tax system, which has seen more than 11 million Australians get more than $30 billion worth of tax cuts. And we have data out today which actually shows that young women in particular are real beneficiaries of our tax cuts, with women 24 and under are paying 20% less tax under us compared to the Labor Party. So we're continuing to cut taxes. We're always looking for opportunities for reform, but our record of cutting taxes stands in very stark contrast to the Labor Party and their $387 billion of higher taxes they took to the last election.
There's nothing more romantic than talking about tax on Valentine's Day. I hope that you got Amy something nice.
Well, that will be coming, but it was nice to spend the weekend with the family.
Oh, you haven't got her anything?
Busted.
Whoa.
Oh,
What's
he's
wrong
in
with
trouble.
There's something coming.
Treasurer?
Well, I'm here, she's there, but we'll...
Whoa, you can't pick up a
there's
phone
definitely
or
a
the
romantic
flowers?
dinner. No, well, you're my first date for the morning. How's that? There will be a romantic dinner date coming soon.
Oh, I bet she can't wait. Thanks, Treasurer. Have a great day.
I bet you're getting me into trouble now.
Yeah, no,
Thanks for
definitely.
me
You're getting
trouble.
yourself
Bye.
into trouble.
Yeah, no, don't need any help from Karl there. Boy, oh boy, dig that hole. Well.